Hey there, everybody. Happy first day of school. What an exciting day it's been already. I love seeing all the pictures. Keep them coming. I wanted to jump on here really quick this morning in the midst of all of the excitement to share a challenge that I put out there for our church yesterday morning. So here's the deal. We've been talking this month about multiplication, what it looks like to multiply our own faith, what it looks like to multiply faith externally and share the hope that we have in Jesus with the whole world. And yesterday we talked about exponential multiplication. Specifically, we looked in Luke 5 when Jesus is calling the first disciples, and at first he meets Peter at the water's edge, and then they go out a little bit in the boat and a little bit further, ultimately to catch this enormous catch of fish. And the point that we made was that faith always begins at the water's edge. God always comes to us first. He meets us where we are. And that's an incredible thing about our faith, that God comes to us. That's unique to the Christian faith, that we have a God who doesn't wait for us to find him. He comes to us in the middle of our lives, in the middle of our stories, and he meets us there. But then the next thing we talked about is the boat put out a little from shore where Jesus could teach and tell these stories, and faith grows when we make a move, when we do something, when we just take that little bit of a step. And Jesus never asks us to go alone. He comes with us. He talks to us. He teaches us. He shares more as we go so that we get to grow with every step of the journey. But then we talked about the fact that faith multiplies when we are ready to go out into the deep. When Jesus invites us to go to that place, to take a trust leap because we have a confident relationship with him, multiplication happens and miracles happen. And for so many of you, you've been wanting to go out further. You've been wanting your faith to grow. And God tells us there's this one thing. There's this one thing that if we're willing to trust him, he is going to exponentially open the doors of what he can do. And it's trusting him with the very foundation sometimes on which we stand, which comes down to our financial security. And that's where Jesus said, where your treasure is, there your heart is. But the bigger deal is, will you trust me? And what was amazing about the story with Peter is he did start on the water's edge, not even listening or looking for Jesus. But Jesus invited him into a story and ultimately a front row seat to see miracles happen. I want that to be our story as well. And so we've issued a challenge for the month of September. And for some of you, the step is going to look different. Some of you are at the water's edge. Some of you are ready to put out just a little bit into the water. And some of you are ready to go out into the deep. And so there's place in the challenge for all of us. But I want to challenge all of us to take that step, to do this one thing where God says, I want to show you. You can test me in this. I want you to see it. And so on yesterday, we handed out these cards if you were in worship. And if not, and even regardless, on the very first page, the home page of our app, there is a button that looks just like this, that's blue, and it says take the challenge. And when you open the form, it has these different options for you to move in the different levels you need to move. So here's the thing. I challenge you to take this step. I challenge you to listen to the voice of God. I challenge you to go just beyond your comfort level and see what God is ready to show you. Because here's what I know. Every time I've been ready to take a step, one more step, trust God a little bit more, trust me a little bit less, trust the things I can hold on to a little bit less, and trust God more, he shows me just how trustworthy and just how faithful he is. I want you to see that. I want you to know that. Take the challenge this September. Go ahead and check it out today. If you have any questions, let us know. Love y'all.